And that was Greg Welsh. He'll be taking on Matt Bagshaw at Aggression 9 on February 11th. Nice to have Greg on there. And like I said, the first time I saw him fight, was giving like downward elbows on the spine. I thought he was pretty dirty, but as you heard there, Greg has some other thoughts. And, I think he's going to do really good against Bagshaw. And he's 6-1 now. I see Welsh finishing this in the first. Like, this guy is a terror in there. And I think he's not a guy that's going to go 3 rounds. And I see Welsh winning against Bagshaw. Going to 7-1. A very impressive featherweight record. And I don't know, Don, what do you think?
I think he better be going out there and getting a quick win. It sounds like he's pretty amped for it, and that's what he's going to be looking for. Because let's be honest, for the Welsh to make his name and pop it out there on the national scene, we're looking at March 16th in Hamilton on the score. So, he gets that big win, then he takes on Will Romero. He's going to be making his name right there. So, a long, drawn-out fight is not going to help him here. And let's be honest, you don't run through Bagshaw. It's hard to do. But, Welsh definitely sounds confident. So, I'm looking. You made your professional debut against Chris Ade, a guy that at the time had, 30 fights under his belt?
Yeah, he had quite a few, man.
Not only did you beat him, I believe the very first time you got him by rear naked choke in the second round, right?
Yeah, that's how that one finished up, yeah.
And then I guess he was unhappy with that, and you had to face him a second time?
All over that fight, he had me in some trouble, man. He had me in like 4 tight arm bars and a couple triangle chokes, and yeah, he had a lot of stuff, but I just kept getting out, and a couple of them were real tight, and he figured they should have stopped it. But, you know what I mean? I wasn't tapping, so I guess you can't just stop it. And then, that was his problem with it. But I caught him with the sub, and that was it.
And then, like I said, you faced him a second time right after that. And
yeah, you had to straighten that out.
I guess you put a little bit more icing on the cake in the second one.
Yeah, it was basically like a football punt, man. That's pretty much how it went down. It wasn't like a front push kick or a teep kick. It was like I was punting a football, and I caught him right on the chin, and he dropped, man. That was it.
And, you got to say, when you look at your record, you've been to the third round, but you've never been to a judge's decision. And nothing makes MMA fans more happy than seeing a guy who always finishes opponents. And on top of that, just like, El Wapo Basarudin always says, you have a guy that can mix the KOs and the submissions, you got yourself a complete fighter. And that's one of the reasons why we brought you into the top 10. Since then, you face guys like Tyson Steele, Corey Knapp, Drew Weatherhead, Matt Veal. No easy wins. You look at your record, you're a guy that's fought twice every year. And, 2012, you already got 2 fights booked up in, not even the first quarter of the year. Are you looking at 2012 for your splash on the scene? Is that what you want to do?
This is my year. Yeah, I'm not a spring chicken, man. I'm 32 years old right now, so I want to get out there. I want to fight the toughest dudes I can, get my name out there, keep moving up these rankings, and just hopefully do something with this, man. I love to fight. It would be nice to do it full time instead of working 10 hours a day and then training for 2 hours a day, and then, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just trying to do what I can with it right now and hopefully get at least 4 fights in this year, at least. Would be great.
Any sort of, and we couldn't even call it ring rust because the last time we saw you was in October. You said you broke your hand versus Matt Veal, but really, that's understandable. Veal's got a chin of granite and a head of concrete.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Tell me about it.
Tough guy, that guy. I'm just telling you, tough guy. You got the bag shot, and then you're stepping right back in, like we said, against Will Romero. And if you look at your record, obviously everyone's going to say Will Romero, huge step up.
Yeah.
How are you looking at this?
I'm looking at it like a fight. You know what I mean? Like he's a dude like me. I'm sure he's someone that I'm actually going to enjoy having a stand-up war with. You know what I mean? Because that guy, he's not going to come over and shoot a power double at me because I throw a punch at him. He's gonna try to kick my head off and stuff. He's a real good kickboxer. I think it's going to be great, man. I'm just hoping everything lines up and it all works out and that happens. But I gotta keep my head in the game with this fight here coming up because this one's not going to be easy. So
that's what I want to touch on with you. you're going on with it. It's going to be your eighth fight here, and now you're being booked 2 fights back to back. Do you feel any pressure on that? Because you are moving from aggression to the Score Fighting Series. Like, you're taking those steps up to the national stage here. Do you feel any pressure on you, one, to perform, and two, to make sure that you're ready for that Romero fight after the Bagshaw fight?
Yeah, hella pressure. Actually, I don't want to get to the bigger shows and then and not perform. You know what I mean? Like, all my fights that I've had here have been real exciting fights with good finishes. There's been a bonus given away in every one of my fights except one, and I've got them all except for one when Tyson choked me out. But what are you gonna do?
It happens.
But yeah, man, I just want to perform. I want to put on exciting shows wherever I go, and hopefully the bigger the show, the better the performances I put out, and that way people will know who I am. There's pressure to not be hurt and have to pull out of a fight or something like that, but you can't really think about it, you know what I mean? I can't go in to fight Bagshaw and be like, I don't want to get hurt, because that's when I will get hurt.
Yep.
I'll wake up and be like, Coach, did I win? Did I do good? So, yeah, no, I'm going to go into this one, and I'm going to just fight my ass off like how when me and Veal went at it, because that fight was crazy. And I'm just going to approach it like that. I'm going to go out there and fight until I can't fight anymore.
What do you see in Matt Bagshaw as an opponent? Where do you see you have the advantage?
Well, he's kind of like me, man. We're both aggressive from what I've seen of him. I think his wrestling's probably better than mine. That's no secret. And that's it. Just stand and throw punches and kicks and knees and put on a crazy good show. And from the looks of what I've seen of that guy, he looks like he's going to get after it too. So, I mean, it should be good for the fans anyway, so it won't be too good for us. One of us, it's not going to be too good for it. I usually feel I have the advantage standing with pretty much anyone that I face. That's why these guys always take me down and try to beat me up on the ground. So then I started subbing some dudes. So, yeah, now they got to watch out for me everywhere.
And that's the one reason, the reason that you love to stand, trade, and bang is the reason why you made it to our top 10 Maple Leaf matchups for this month against Matt Bagshaw. Now, the thing about this fight, I don't even know if it's Matt Bagshaw. To me is the fact that you have Will Romero, 1 month after the Bagshaw fight?
Yeah, it's like a month and 4 days or something like that, man. It's quick. So I'm just hoping, I'm definitely not looking past. I've never looked past anybody that I've fought. I'm just hoping to get in there, do my thing in there, and get out without having any injuries. I broke my hand against Veal.
Keith Grinke, my partner in crime, had to step away for a second, unable to jump on the interview. But I don't know if you've heard, but he's gone on radio first couple times he saw you. He saw you throw a little up and down elbows, maybe some spine shots, so he said. He was calling you a dirty fighter.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I called him out on it on Facebook. We're buddies on Facebook, and it was his birthday, so I wished him the old HPD, and I was like, P.S. I'm not a dirty fighter, and he had a laugh at it. What did he say? He had a line. He said, Welsh with something about beating up my own mom for the win or something. I was like, wow, easy, buddy. Yeah. But no, I don't know, man. I fight hard. And I'm not a dirty fighter by far. I'm probably one of the cleanest fighters out there, I'd say. There's a couple times, I guess, the elbow strayed a little bit. It was on more of a 45 than a straight, you know what I mean, than a straight down on the spine kind of elbow. And but I mean, the ref called it illegal, and it was Vern Gorman who called me the first time on it, and he's a good ref, so what am I going to say? I'm going to tell him he's wrong. So I just said, all right, man, sorry about that. And then we got back after it, and that was it.
How hard of a life is it to be, a guy trying to chase a dream when you still work at a full-time job in between trying to chase that dream?
It's rough, man. It's but I mean, if you want to be good at this fighting game, you got to train. And for some people, like I got a family too, right? I got a 6-year-old daughter and my fiance. So I mean, if it was just me, then I don't care. I can live in a bachelor apartment, man, and eat crap dinner and train all the time. But I mean, it's not like that. I gotta make sure these guys got what they need. So I gotta go to work. I gotta get that money, and then for the fighting thing, I wanna be as good as I can. So I gotta go to the gym, even though you're tired, you don't want to do it. You get home at I don't know, whatever time you get in the door and grab a quick shower and grab your gear, and then you're off to the gym, and then you get back and you're exhausted, and then you got to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and do it all over again. So you got to be dedicated, I guess, but it's part of the game, man. You want to win. Yeah.
How hard is it to juggle, the friends and the fighter lifestyle at the same time?
I am still trying to figure that out, my friend. I don't know. It seems like every fight that comes up, the more serious I get, the more that I don't really hang out. The more that I'm in the gym or I'm at home or I'm working. That's pretty much it because you don't really have time. Like I haven't had a beer in a long time. I can't. I've watched all these fights and they're still good. So whatever. I can check them out that way. I didn't drink for the Super Bowl. Actually, I didn't even watch the Super Bowl yesterday. I watched a quarter and then I was like, man, I'm going to do some cardio. And that was. So, I mean, I sometimes still have problems. I'm like, man, I just want to go and have some fun. But then I'm like, do I want to get my face punched in front of all these people? Or do I want to go to the gym? You know what I mean? Instead of going out and drinking with my buddies. So, yeah, just pick the gym.
A lot of people bring it up are, athletes in certain provinces, depending on who you have to train with, in the gym, do you ever think of, maybe at one point you might need to take I don't want to call it a step up, but maybe like a change of pace to a gym with more pro fighters? Like, is that something that you ever look at, or are you happy to have your home crew around you at all times?
It's cool training with all these guys that I got here. I mean, they help me out and stuff, but I for this camp, I was making some trips to, whenever I could, to Edmonton because you got Hayabusa there and you got Cardinal Sports Gym and there's lots of good gyms around, like 2.5 hours away from me. So you know what I mean. If I have the time to do it, it's working with those guys. And then, but I mean, if I was paid to fight constantly and I didn't have to work, well then yeah, I probably would. You know what I mean? Take a step and go someplace else.
Seeing the Canadian guys like yourself, how's sponsorship treating you? That's one of the things I find sometimes sponsors are a little slow jumping on some of the fast rising guys. How has sponsorship been for you?
Some of these people have been here right from the start, like Saber Machining out here has helped me out quite a bit. My girlfriend works at a restaurant, Casey Steakhouse. Those guys have been helping me out with gear and stuff like that, buying my gear for me. I got a couple new guys that just jumped on board. Vintage Music, Core Safety. So I mean, it's all right, but the more the merrier, right? Like I'll whore myself out for anything. They give me money, I'll do it. I don't care. I need the cash, and that way I can train more and work less and be in better shape. So,
let me just throw that out there, folks. You heard it here. Greg Welsh, new to Canada's 145-pound top 10. That's right, one of the top 10 fighters at 145 pounds in the nation, is ready to wear your logo. So I'm saying Aggression, you're going to be on internet TV. Score Fighting Series, are you not only going to be live on the internet, you're going to be coast to coast on national TV. I'm just saying, sponsors.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. I definitely think there's, something to be done. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil the placement of the top 10. You'll see that coming up in a week, and I'm sure Keith the Machine Grinke will send it off to you. Greg, we wish you all the best against Matt Bagshaw. I will be down in Hamilton to see you against Will Romero, so Perfect. We'll meet up then. Thanks to you tonight. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, give Keith my love. All right, see ya.
So I feel super, and I got beat up. I got a sweater, and the shit kicked out of me. I went in. I fought a guy named Mike Neufeld. He's a good fighter. He don't fight no more, but
he's out of Lethbridge too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so I fought. It was my first amateur fight, and we fought at 170. Now, when I weighed in, I had breakfast. I had change in my pockets, not much, but I had some. And I stepped on that scale. And I think it was 158, and we were fighting at 170. Now, I know you know a little thing about the game, right? Yeah. You know what he weighed in at? 172. And they're like, do you want him to take his underwear off to make the weight? I said, no, fuck all that, right? Then I talked to him later on that day. He was back to 185. I was still at a steady 158. And I was like, oh, this is not going to... Well, actually, I was like, oh, that poor motherfucker. Right? It was my first fight, and I knew what I was about. I was like, I'm going to hurt this motherfucker. And, no. Not even at all, man.
Not even at all.
That guy beat the fuck out of me, man. He put me on my back and punched my face in. I was on my back punching up. Trying real hard and shit.